In this video, we're going to take a look at 5 future AEW World Champions. Now, anytime I make a list video similar to this, I like to be very blunt and clear that these are my opinions. I take a look at the spectrum of the wrestling business, and I also take a look at how AEW has booked these wrestlers thus far. And trust me, this list is exciting. In fact, I would say that every single individual in this video has a really good chance of wearing the World Championship around their waist. But also, spoiler alert, there is somebody in this video who is not currently signed to AEW, and I do expect them to sign with AEW at some point in their career, and it is a pretty massive signing. So if you guys want more videos like this, make sure you guys do me a favor and click that subscribe button and smash that like button for your boy. Alright guys, kicking things off on this list, number 1, Adam Cole, baby. Look guys, Adam Cole has been clearly given the green light to do amazing things in AEW. It's been very clear from the start, from the moment that he debuted in AEW, WWE had nothing on AEW when it came to the main roster plans. That's because WWE didn't know what to do with Adam Cole. Adam Cole was a big star for NXT. Tony Khan even said it himself. Adam Cole in NXT actually made Tony Khan worried during the Wednesday Night Wars. So when Tony Khan has this much praise for Adam Cole, and Tony Khan gives Adam Cole the ability to really shine every Wednesday and Friday on Dynamite and Rampage, one has to really believe that Tony Khan will eventually put the strap on Adam Cole. The great thing is about AEW that currently at this time of this video being uploaded, Adam Cole is nowhere near World Championship plans. And that's the thing I love about AEW. We all know that Adam Cole could be a great world champion for AEW. I think it's really easy to agree that Adam Cole deserves to be world champion of AEW. And as good as the AEW World Championship picture currently is for AEW, they don't need to put the belt on Adam Cole just yet, and we're still able to get exciting matchups with Adam Cole in the meantime. This is going to make it a lot better in the long run for AEW when they eventually decide to put the strap on Adam Cole. Let's face it, Adam Cole was the face of NXT. For him to leave WWE and go on to AEW becoming world champion, it's going to make everybody realize that Vince McMahon's original plans for Adam Cole on the main roster were absolutely garbage. I mean, seriously, look how AEW has treated Adam Cole thus far, and go take a look at some of those reports and rumors of WWE cutting Adam Cole's hair, making him manage Keith Lee. Guys, there was a lot of things I didn't understand about that report, but Adam Cole mentioned it several times that he had to turn down a lot of those plans that were initially pitched to him. Adam Cole is going to star in AEW for a long time. He's going to be a major focal point for the company going forward, but that's not going to happen just yet. But don't be surprised within a year or two if Adam Cole is inserted into major plans for the World Championship picture. He has the total package, and on top of that, Tony Khan and AEW are truly behind Adam Cole. Number 2 on the list, we're going to talk about Jungle Boy. That's right guys, Jungle Boy has been booked absolutely incredible in AEW. He's a smaller size wrestler that has great in-ring ability, but what really gets him over is his connection with the fans. Jungle Boy carries a lot of charisma. His character work and his in-ring ability is enough to get fans to support him all the way. I always like to look at Jungle Boy as a Daniel Bryan situation. Jungle Boy has all the tools to be the face of AEW, and we know that this is eventually going to happen because of the strong booking and support behind Jungle Boy. So you might be wondering, why do I think Jungle Boy is going to be a world champion? Well, let's face it, Daniel Bryan was never going to be the world champion of WWE television until the fans got behind him. Luckily, Jungle Boy doesn't have to wait that long. Since his debut at Double or Nothing, AEW has been very clear and very supportive about Jungle Boy. Right now, he's doing some great stuff with Christian and Jurassic Express, but eventually Jungle Boy is going to need a singles run. Some people may suggest that the first thing Jungle Boy should do is go for the TNT Championship. And while I do agree that would be a big step, as AEW continues to grow and gain mainstream momentum, I think Jungle Boy winning the belt is definitely not out of the ordinary. Yeah, he may not look like a Braun Strowman or a Brock Lesnar, or he may not even look like a Jon Moxley. But it's all about the connection between the wrestlers and the fans. And at the end of the day, Jungle Boy moves merchandise, people love him, and the young demographic that AEW is heavily winning right now is really supportive of this guy. I really do believe Jungle Boy is going to be a world champion for AEW. Maybe not now, maybe not even next year, but it's going to happen at some point in his career. And when it does happen, it's going to be absolutely awesome to see. Number 3 on the list, Bryan Danielson. Very similar to Adam Cole's situation, Bryan Danielson has been given the green light to just simply go off. But in AEW, it requires more than that. Now, I think Bryan Danielson winning the AEW World Championship at some point is inevitable. But right now, AEW just simply needs to focus on building new stars. So when I mention Jungle Boy, how do you book Jungle Boy winning the World Championship? Well, some people might think that this is a ridiculous statement, but Bryan Danielson is all about giving back to the wrestling industry. I think within 2 to 3 years, Bryan Danielson wins the championship belt and eventually drops it to Jungle Boy. Yes, it's a very bold statement, but when you really think about it, Bryan Danielson is all about helping others, and Bryan Danielson can relate to Jungle Boy more than anybody. A lot of people looked at Bryan Danielson and didn't think he could be a star. He went to WWE, and after so many attempts by WWE to diminish his success, he continued to rise to the top. Now, that is a little bit different with Jungle Boy. He clearly has support behind him, but take a look at what he's been doing and how he's been booked, and take a look at that connection with the fans. I think Bryan Danielson versus Jungle Boy is a major way of passing the torch, and I think it's a great way for AEW to execute a solution for somebody who is a smaller size. You know, maybe booking Jungle Boy against Wardlow or maybe Lance Archer for the world title wouldn't necessarily make a lot of sense, because AEW is trying to prove that there is a little bit of realism left in pro wrestling. But if Bryan Danielson were to become the world champion, then eventually it opens the door for Jungle Boy. And that's exactly what I love about this situation right here. Bryan Danielson has to become the world champion. He is the most notable name on the AEW roster. It would be absolutely stupid if AEW didn't make him a world champion. But if we're also being honest, we need to use that opportunity to put over more stars. And this is something that I think AEW will execute perfectly. Whether it's MJF or Jungle Boy, yeah. I think Bryan Danielson putting over talent is the likely way of his career. I think that's what we're going to see in the future. So ultimately, I support this 100%. Number 4 on the list, Hangman Page. Guys, Hangman Page is a very interesting name because we know he has an opportunity to compete against Kenny Omega for the world champion. And honestly, when it comes to this championship match, it's been a long time coming. This is probably the one that's going to happen the soonest, and maybe as soon as Full Gear. But Hangman Page has a lot of support behind from AEW. And the one thing I absolutely love here is that Hangman Page is a really good guy. People love Hangman Page. He connects to the audience, he loves the audience, and on top of that, he's just a good person to get behind. Hangman Page has had some very questionable character work because sometimes he ends up teasing that he might go bad, but eventually he stays on course and becomes the ultimate babyface. I liken this situation to be very similar to what WWE has done with Drew McIntyre. It might sound a little silly, but WWE knew that Drew McIntyre was going to be the ultimate babyface for them on the Raw brand. Also, Hangman Page is very similar in that regard because Hangman Page made a name known for himself outside of AEW. People want to see him get the world championship because they know what he's been through in his career to get there. And that's why Hangman Page winning, it might be the one that happens the fastest on this list, and it's definitely inevitable, but I like to say that this is a great masterpiece by AEW actually allowing long-term storytelling to play out. It gives me hope for guys like Hangman Page and Jungle Boy and MJF. It gives me a lot of hope for Darby Allin, who could also be argued as an honorable mention. But these are the 5 guys I think without a doubt are going to be a world champion. And I think these 5 guys absolutely need the world championship, all for their own reason. So yes, Hangman Page as a world champion, probably going to happen a lot sooner than later, but it's something I fully support. And for our final name on this list, guys, this is the most insane thing I've probably ever put out on a YouTube video, but I just genuinely believe that this will happen. Brock Lesnar coming to AEW is something I think that will happen. And I know a lot of people think that it's not going to happen because Brock Lesnar is a WWE guy. But ultimately, I think Brock Lesnar is a money guy. And I think Brock Lesnar has done a really good job throughout his career, navigating his career, making the most out of his prestigious name. Because yes, Brock Lesnar is a very mainstream name. People who don't watch wrestling know Brock Lesnar. People who watch MMA know Brock Lesnar. I think eventually WWE is either going to find themselves in a situation where they don't want to pay Brock or they don't necessarily need to pay Brock. And I think Brock Lesnar one day will eventually get a huge contract by AEW, absolutely marking the highest free agent signing for AEW in history. Now, I don't know if this happens in a year or 2 or 3 years, but I think AEW is here for the long run, and Brock Lesnar could very well become part of those plans. Now, before you shit on this idea, please understand that I think Brock Lesnar coming to AEW is what's going to put over absolutely every rising star in AEW. And that right there is why I trust Tony Khan. My name is Ango, this is Destination PW. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know in the comments section down below, and I'll see you guys next time right here on DPW.